Okay. I just saw episode 1 of season 1 of Stranger Things, and being the D&D fanboy that I am, I have to talk about the D&D scene. Because to be quite honest, it was the only part of the show I even gave a rat's ass about. And I have questions. I have questions and I have issues, but mostly I have questions. Now I'm going to be a little all over the place because there is way too much to unpack. So the kids are at the table and the players have notebooks of paper. And it's like, why do they have notebooks of paper? Your characters. It's a character sheet, 2 or 3 sheets. What notes do you have that require a binder full of paper for a character? 5th edition it hasn't been invented yet. You don't need that much, information for your character. It's only 1st edition. So I really want to know what the hell kind of notes these characters have, or these players have for their characters. Then, to add insult to injury, the DM is the only person who doesn't have a notebook with, the information on the adventure they're going on. And it's like, oh wait, he has a binder. I go, yeah, but he's using the binder as the DM screen. There's the reason for a DM screen is threefold. 1, it's to be used to hide your notebook so that you can open it up and check the notes. You don't use your notebook of information of the adventure you're on as the DM screen. Second of all, you also use the DM screen because it has all the information for combat. He has no information on combat on his notebook, so that's irrelevant. And the third reason you have a DM screen is to hide your dice rolls from the players. Speaking of dice, there's no dice on the table. They're playing D&D without dice. How are you playing Dungeons & Dragons without dice? Oh, they have the 1d20. Okay. You can't play. How are you playing D&D with just a d20? No d4, no d6, no d8, no d10, no d12. You have a bunch of players coming to a D&D game and not have any dice. Everybody has dice. You bring dice. You don't just have, Jesus H. Christ. You have, I haven't played in a while and I still have dice. It's like, how do you go to a D&D game and go, yeah, I don't need dice. That's for amateurs. It's like, no, there's no, it boggled my mind that they weren't playing with dice, except for the 1d20. Oh, and speaking of the d20, I love this. Now, obviously, the kid actor who's playing, I forget their names. I wrote them down. Duncan. When Duncan doesn't actually roll a d20, he's just pretending to roll a d20. The sound effect is of multiple dice. And I was thinking, like, did the die hit other die on the table? Apparently not. There are no other die. It was like, did the sound effect crew just grab, a stock sound bite from a casino craps table? It was just, oh my god. Little thing, but it was just... So, you have a DM with a DM screen, with a Dungeon Master screen. Why? He's not rolling any dice. He's not hiding any information. Just put the... You might as well have just taken the binder, close it up, put it in front of him, and just talk to him. He's hiding. Why is he hiding behind a DM, an open binder that serves no purpose? So anyway, then we get, I hope it's not the Demigorgon, and I'm going, excuse me, the Demigorgon. You were on an adventure or in a dungeon or a tower or a castle or wherever, or a temple, where the possibility of encountering Demigorgon one of the top 10 most dangerous creatures in first edition, and you're why haven't you left yet? Like, what level are you? I mean, what quest are you on where the Demigorgon isn't even your main goal, but just somebody or some creature you may end up running into? Or is he like treated like a random monster? Like, there's a chance of running into, a goblin, a zombie, Demigorgon. I mean, what adventure are they going on? I need to know what story adventure they are going on, because this is blowing my mind. So, but here's the thing. So it's like, I have no idea what level they are, but apparently they're high enough level to risk going into a situation where they might encounter Demigorgon, but a low enough level to be scared shitless if they actually do run into Demigorgon. So anyway, so they have the boom, 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 and it's the Demigorgon. It's not the Demigorgon. It's an army of Trogs, and an army of Trogs enter the chamber, and it's like, how big is this chamber that can hold an army of Trogs? How small is this army of Trogs? Like three Trogs do not an army make. So I'm thinking, is there? And not only that, are they entering from like a doorway, single file, and like they're just waiting for this single file of Trogs, of an army of Trogs to enter the chamber? Because that's gonna take a while. And it's like, well, wait a minute, or is there like an open wall into a field, and that's where the army of Trogs? I need to know these things. Okay, these are things that are necessary. So now Trogs, who cares? Army of Trogs, what do we care? So so the army of Trogs is just in the room, and just, do they attack? Are they doing anything? No, they just enter the room, they just enter the chamber, and then the Demigorgon appears. Now, it's not a question of the fact that the Demigorgon figure wasn't made until like 84. I don't care. Let's say this took place in 1984. How did these little shits get that figure? Okay? What hobby store do you have that? I was so pissed that these kids were able to get the Demigorgon figure like so early in. Do you know how impossible it was to get the Demigorgon figure? But these kids, like, yeah, you know what? Just put. They couldn't find. The hobby store apparently didn't have a DM screen, but it had the Demigorgon figure. Go figure. I know it's a little thing, but it just pissed me off that they had the Demigorgon figure. Because you know how long it took me to find it? Okay. So anyway, the Demigorgon shows up, and Dustin and Lucas the DM asks Duncan, what do you do? Because he's a wizard. And then Dustin goes, cast protection. And Lucas goes, fireball, protection, fireball. And it's like, both of those spells are goddamn useless. The magic user shouldn't have been, I don't know what to pick. His answer should have been, both those spells are goddamn useless in this situation. What are you, stupid? Not only that, what level are these morons? What level? If fireball is your big gun to try to take down Demigorgon, you're dead. Okay? Now, it was explained to me what the analogy of this scene was supposed to be about the character representations of the kids and how they act in the show. Here's the actual analogy of this D&D scene. That against the Demigorgon, all these kids are dead because they're too stupid. Okay? Now, at the end of the show, do all three of the kids die because of the Demigorgon? No? Well, then the analogy is lost, because that's the analogy. These kids are too stupid to have survived the Demigorgon. They should have all been killed. Because Because there's Dustin like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my... Okay, so here's how both spells are absolutely irrelevant in this situation. And it comes to a key line, which, oh my god, I hated this goddamn line. Duncan goes, with Fireball, I'll need a 13 or more to hit. I'm listening to this and I'm going, oh my god. The movie Mazes and Monsters, as pathetic as that movie was in defining the Dungeons and Dragons game, it did a better job explaining how D&D worked than this show did. I can't believe that actually happened. I can't believe I'm actually saying that Mazes and Monsters did a better job explaining how D&D worked than this show. You don't need a 13 or more to hit with a magic spell. The opponent needs to save versus the spell being affected. Now here's the other thing about Duncan saying, I need a 13 or more to hit. If the DM had said it, fine. It was just a stupid mistake. It was just a stupid line, I get it. Except if Duncan says it, how did Duncan know that he needed a 13 or more to hit the Demigorgon? Unless he read the Demigorgon entry in the Monster Manual. Meaning he checked all of his stats. In other words, he read the Demigorgon stats, what his level would be. By the way, the Demigorgon's level is 44. His armor class is -8, and there's no goddamn way that a wizard can hit -8 with a 13 or more. So I don't even know where the hell they got that goddamn number from. So in other words, he would have had to have checked what Demigorgon's stats were to be able to figure out how this imaginary number of 13 or more to hit would have occurred. Well, when perusing the entry on the Demigorgon, did you by chance not notice the fact that a Demigorgon has a 95% magic resistance? That your spell has a 5% chance of actually hitting him? Not only that, the Demigorgon takes half damage from magical fire, including, you guessed it, a fireball. Let's say he's 10th level. Let's say he was 10th level. He cast a 10 dice 6 fireball. The average die roll is 3.5, which meant he could, on the average, he would have rolled 35. I'll give you 40 so that the math is easy. He would have rolled a 40. The average is 40 points of damage for a fireball. Considering that the Demigorgon automatically takes half of that, this is of course assuming he rolls 96% or higher to even affect the magic, to even affect them. This is also including the fact that the Demigorgon doesn't even save against it. I'm just ignoring that. So the average is 40 hit points of damage. The Demigorgon automatically takes half of that, leaving 20 hit points of fireball damage. The Demigorgon has 200 hit points of damage. Your big gun, your attack that was supposed to take out the Demigorgon, takes out 10% of its hit points. After you cast Fireball, what did you think was going to happen? Oh, I don't know. The Demigorgon kicking all 3 of your asses? So the Fireball spell is absolutely irrelevant in this situation. Then we have the Protection spell. I'm obviously assuming he's referring to protection from evil, because I don't think protection from missiles would actually be beneficial in this situation. But then again, it's just as useful as protection from evil. Protection from evil will only stop Demigorgon from physically being able to attack whoever has the protection of evil cast on them. I'm assuming it's going to be the 10-foot radius, because if he's high enough level to get Fireball, he's probably high enough level to get the 10-foot radius protection from evil. So now the Demigorgon cannot physically attack the characters. it won't stop the Demogorgon from telekinetically picking one of them up and smashing them against the wall and taking them out of the circle of protection. It's useless. But let's go along the lines that the DM goes, no magical abilities used by the Demogorgon can affect those affected by the protection from evil spell. Granted, fine. The protection from evil spell does not stop the army of trogs that are in the chamber, you morons! The best it's going to do is provide a +2 saving throw from their stench and give them a -2 to their attack rolls. Well, there's an army of them. There's only 3 of you morons. You're dead anyway. Yeah, the Demogorgon can't kill us. Oh, too bad the trogs can't. And not only that, who are these other 2 characters? Right? What class are they? What are they? I literally thought that they were henchmen or hirelings of the magic user because it's all they're doing is like, use this spell, use this spell. Again, I understand the analogy, but the analogy is they're morons and they should be dead when facing a Demogorgon. So that the whole analogy that you're trying to pretend it's supposed to be about is invalid. Sorry. It's like, Dustin, what are you? Like, what kind? Like, why don't you do something? Or Lucas, here's an idea. Why don't you do something? Nah, we're just gonna have it. We're gonna have our mage take out Demogorgon with a fireball. That's our fail-safe, a fireball. It's like, oh my god, you're so stupid. You're all gonna die. It was like, just what character classes are these? Did the writers not even know that there were what the other character classes were? There's like, I mean, oh, but you know why? Because I was looking around and I'm going, not only are there not any dice, where does anybody not have any of the D&D books? Where's the D&D books? And then near the end of the scene or whatever somewhere, you see the monster manual, and what ends up is the DM's guide because the book underneath the monster manual was thicker, and the player's handbook is the same thickness as the monster manual. The book underneath the monster manual was thicker, which was the DM's guide, so that's how I know it was the DM's guide. So it's like, no player's handbook. It's like, we don't need dice. We don't need no stinking dice. We don't need no stinking player's handbook. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We're just winging this as we go along. How do you play Dungeons & Dragons without dice and without, the player's handbook? Because if they had the player's handbook, they would have probably figured out, oh, maybe we can pick a character class for these other characters, like fighter, paladin, ranger, cleric, druid. Yeah, but nobody's gonna pick druid. We already got the mage. Nobody's gonna pick illusionist because they suck. Then you have thief and assassin, but nobody's gonna pick. You got 10 character classes to work with. Well, 9 because somebody's already the magic user. And it's like nobody's an elf. Nobody's an elf because nobody followed the class restrictions. Okay, so there's always going to be somebody playing an elf. Oh no, I'm tired of your human bickering. And I'm going, none of you are playing an elf. What are you, idiots? Well, of course you're idiots. You're going up against Demogorgon and hoping a fireball will take him out. It's just the layers of insanity of this scene was just I could not handle it. And then for the icing on the cake, I look on the monster manual. On the monster manual, can of pop. There was a can of pop. If I was the DM, if you wanted to know why the players are facing the Demogorgon, it's because one of those idiots put a goddamn can of Coke on on the monster manual. You're all dead. You're all dead. You're just gonna learn your lesson. Why are we facing the Demogorgon? Somebody put the can of pop. You're all dead. This will teach you not to put a can of pop and treat my books like goddamn coasters. Put a can of pop on the freaking monster manual. And where was the player's handbook? No player. Just. So then Duncan rolls, and it goes off the table, and they all scatter to find what it was. This is why you bring multiple dice to a game, because first of all, it doesn't count when it goes off the table, and you're not going to spend time trying to find it you're going to just roll another die. But because there are no other die, they have no goddamn choice but to look for it. Then the DM leaves the room. Okay, first mistake. And then they eventually find the die and go, oh, it was a 7. No. Oh, does it count? No, it doesn't count. We shouldn't tell him. Did he see it? No. This is what you do. You find the die, and you go, I found it. And then you take the die, and you flip it so that a 16, because you need a 13 or more, right? Then you have it so that a 15 or 16 is showing up. You take the die, you put it back where you found it, and you pretend to keep looking for it. Then when the DM returns, oh, look, I found the die. And you point to it, the DM sees it, oh, look, it's a 16. I guess you hit. Like, how do you not understand how to do this? The DM has left the room. Then we get the only realistic representation of a D&D game is when Mike goes to talk to his mother and goes, how are we supposed to know it was going to take out 10 hours? There we go. That's the only legitimate representation of the D&D game. How did we know it was supposed to take hours? And God, are you kidding me? That's just the start. Okay, it's a Sunday. If it was Friday, the 10 hours would have been just the preliminaries. The only reason the game ended is because the mother had this stupid idea that we needed sleep. You don't need sleep when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's just an inconvenience. It's like eating and going to the bathroom. So anyway, here's the sad part out of all of this. As much as I was questioning and had issues with it, I asked, so do they ever go back to the D&D game? Because I wanted to know what happened. What happens with the Demigorgon? What happens with the Trogs? Like, where are they? What's their quest? I need to know these things, damn it! And it's like, no, they never go back to the D&D game. Well, then screw this. Why do I gotta watch the rest of the show? The only thing I cared about was the D&D game. You take away the D&D game, what the hell? What value does the show have for me? It was just disappointing that it was such a really piss poor job at portraying a D&D game just so superficially. I mean, considering Community did a pretty good job and Freaks and Geeks did a good job, representing the game. It's like, could you not hire like an RPG expert? You could hire me. I'm available. I'm available for TV shows, series, parties, whatever. I won't even charge you. I'll do it for free, just so that you can get the goddamn game right and just. Anyway, yeah, that's my exposure to Stranger Things. The first 10 minutes of season 1, episode 1. I have no goddamn clue what happened after that because I have no interest. Anyway, that's my review of the Stranger Things series, mainly the D&D scene. So, anyway, I'm out of here. See ya.